who's popped in to visit us in the news break. So welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming in. All right, so we were talking a little bit earlier and saying, the things that your clinic offers to people is a little bit different than your standard psychologists. And why is that? It's because it's just in tune more with the needs of today's people?
Yeah, so we're really involved in asking all of our clients about what they want from a practice, because we want it to be more than just psychology. There are so many psychologists around, and I think that with mental health, psychology certainly makes important contributions, but it's not the only answer. And we were getting that sort of feedback from people, and so they were saying that it would be helpful for them to have other services. So we asked our clients what other services they'd really like, and then we just put the call out, and we were really lucky, and we got a whole bunch of really beautiful people.
So what services do you have at the clinic?
We've got acupuncture, hypnotherapy, we've got a lady who does family and women's health counselling, psychology. We deliver employee assistance programs as well. And we also have exercise physiology and a dietitian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned something, in the break before we came back from the news, you have pet therapy.
Yes, we also have pet therapy. So my dog Gabe, he's recently completed his certificate to be a qualified animal therapy dog. So that was very, very exciting. So
he had to do schooling.
Yes, he did. It was a combination of myself and the dog, but yeah, we got through it in the end. It was really hard because there's all these things that you've got to do. I think sometimes we just think, you take your dog to work and people can pat the dog and that's the therapy, but it's not. You have to actually teach the dog techniques to interact with children and to help elicit confidence in children and things like that. Plus, there was all this stuff I didn't realise, like OH&S around the dog and how we look after the children and protect kids from what the dog could do, but also how we have to protect the dog from what the children can do and things like this. And
how long did that go on for?
It went on for, it felt like a really long time. I started it in July and we got the certificate last week.
Oh, wow.
It was
a long time.
It's a very long time.
What sort of dog? It's a Labrador.
No, he's a Maltese cross Lhasa Apso.
Lhasa Apso?
Yeah.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Look, it's my understanding.
I've never heard of dog.
I hadn't heard of it either. I was walking the dog on the Balnarring Beach one day, and a guy came up and started trying to interact with Gabe. And, Gabe was quite open to it, which he normally isn't. And then, anyway, the guy said, he's a Lhasa Apso. And I said, what's that? And he said, Lhasa Apso is a dog from Tibet, and it was bred to look after the monks in the monastery. So they're bred to be quite quiet inside so that everyone can be still and calm. But then apparently, they had to warn the monks when danger was coming, so they do this with a really loud bark. So he sounds like a German Shepherd.
It's the size of a Maltese?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So that's the breed?
That's the breed. Well, he's crossed, so he's...
Yeah, Maltese cross Lhasa Apso.
You can Google it.
I'm doing it.
That's a great word. That could be a describing word. How you feeling today? I'm feeling a bit Lhasa Apso.
As opposed to Kanana, that's our other word.
That's our other word.
Oh, really?
That's when everything's just a little bit out of control.
I forgot to mention that one of the really awesome things that we have at the clinic as well, is a lady who's doing sound and energy healing.
Oh.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, who have you got for that?
Alicia Coates.
Okay,
She's amazing.
I went to a sound bar.
Oh, what a gorgeous looking dog. Is that it?
No. That's it. That's not my dog though. But
No. Yeah, not your dog.
How cute.
So it's similar to that?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine my dog being
It's like a bear. Looks like a bear.
It's small though, isn't it?
Yeah, little bears, like,
Little bears. I've got a Staffy cross with a lab, so she's
Oh,
got
do
the
you?
energy of a lab in the body of the Staffy. She's crazy.
Oh, that sounds gorgeous.
She is, highly spirited, we call her, don't we? Highly spirited. But yeah, she's crazy. So I couldn't imagine her being therapy for anyone. She'd be causing people to go into therapy, let me to go into therapy. Sound therapy.
Yeah.
That, like I said, I did a sound bath meditation, I think it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. It's really fantastic.
It was.
So
It's
is
beautiful.
that
We had them in the studio as well, and they brought in the bowls.
Yeah,
and
the singing bowls,
Oh,
the
we loved it.
gongs. Yeah.
do all that. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's all of that. So she does that, and yeah, she's just a beautiful soul, and it's so effective. And yeah,
There's a lot of beautiful souls, isn't there? We found a lot of beautiful souls doing
We've
this.
met some really lovely people.
The more people we meet, it's restored my faith. Not that I've lost faith in a human being.
Every now and then you do.
Yeah, sometimes you do, but doing this, and you must find the same thing. You think, oh, I didn't realise there was such beautiful people that do such amazing things for people, and have got such a wholesome outlook on life and
absolutely.
things like that.
You know, I really think that any of us can go and get a certificate
Yep.
or do a degree.
Yep.
But there's that X factor.
I don't
that
know
some
if I
people
can.
just have.
I can do a certificate.
Because some people, you can go out and do it and say, oh, that sounds fun, I'm going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But the people that are really doing it well,
Yeah.
they're the ones that should be doing it. And they're
That's
the ones
right.
that I think it calls to them.
Yes.
That's true.
All right, we're going to shoot off to a couple of promos and another song. I have kicked out a song so we can...
Oh,
have a bit more
good,
fun.
because we've got so much to talk
We've
about.
got too much to talk about. So you're listening to RLPFM on this awesome Friday morning. We'll be back after this.
Yeah. How cute is that? Oh my god! I just.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
What colour?
He's sort of white and grey.
I know. Look at that one.
Oh, they're just adorable.
So is that kind of colouring, or a bit darker, or whiter, or?
yeah, he's
Oh my
sort
God,
of
look at that
white
one,
and
it's
grey.
crazy. I want
Yeah.
that one. That one looks crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that one. And they've got loud barks.
What's that?
Loud big
barks.
barks.
Yeah, really big barks. So, yeah, they want to be warning people about what's going on and stuff like that. So, hello. Okay, thank you.
Because that was
It shoots up a little bit.
Birthday.
mine tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, gorgeous. That would give me a beautiful therapy.
Yeah,
I
look.
was supposed to do some headphones in here for me.
Oh,
They've obviously forgotten.
pink ones?
No, the devil do. Some is better than none.
That's all right.
Thank you.
No worries.
That's my plug. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Good time.
Oh, well, there.
Yeah, that's Gabe. Yeah.
I thought it was. I didn't realise it was actually Gabe. So there you go.
Yeah, that's Gabe. So,
Gabe's gorgeous. Gabe's gorgeous.
Gabe's gorgeous.
where is he?
Oh, there. It's Gabe. Oh, this is your website.
Yeah.
All sized up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just trying to put him on the screen. Yeah, so that's Gabe, but he's actually got a blue mohawk at the moment.
Really?
So, yeah.
Why? Just something different? Having one of those days?
You left him alone in the lounge room.
A wild bachelor weekend.
He likes to think he's a little bit tough.
Weekend with the boys.
Yeah, so cute. So we take him for little walks down High Street in Hastings, and you know, people say, "Oh wow, look at that dog!" Or they do a double take and they take his photo and say, "Gabe now knows to sit and have his photo taken." But the other day we were walking down and a little boy said, "Oh look, a dinosaur!"
Really?
It's all spiked up.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
That's interesting, isn't it? You have to go through training.
Yeah, so the training is loads of fun, but it's hardcore. So the lady who did it, she's one of the lead trainers in Australia, and she's based in New South Wales. So you can go and do a few days up with her and then do the rest online, and you have to submit assignments and coursework sort of weekly, and then
Wow.
she sends it and corrects it, and you have to redo it and send it back, and it's really hard, but you learn so much stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not regulated at the moment, but apparently it's going to be, and she's involved in writing up the guidelines for that. So this is
that's
really
exciting.
good.
That's exciting.
Yeah. because I didn't know what was involved in it either until I studied. I just thought I could take the dog to work, and lots of people do, but now I understand that I didn't know everything that was involved. So, yeah, it'd be good to have it regulated, I think.
Yeah.
Is there guidelines around what type of dog?
We're talking about this on air.
Well, I want to talk about other stuff too. Is there guidelines about what type of dog?
No, you just have to make sure that the dog's been registered, microchipped. The dog has to have a vet assessment to make sure that it's got a good temperament, that it doesn't have any contagious sort of ticks or fleas or diseases and stuff. And that it's in good health. So once you've got all of those sorts of things as well, then you're good to go.
That would be so nice in an older people's home.
Yeah, they've got them at some of the schools as well.
My neighbour takes her dog. Her dad's in like a retirement place, and she just takes her dog in there.
Yeah.
And he's a good natured dog.
Yeah.
He's not trained in anything. Alright, so pull that close. So that was my only issue in the first year. I wasn't able to. I thought you pull the microphone right up there.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, because she's not connected to you, so I can pull
Yeah.
the microphone right up. 12 seconds.
This will stop straight away, this one.
Microphones are going on.
And we're back. We can't decide who's going to take the lead, so we both do it.
There's always a lot of pointing going on and we just ignore that.
I know. I do. I point around a lot.
I point.
Oh, you pointing as well? So we've been having off-the-air discussions about
Yes, we do.
the canine clinician.
Yes.
So gorgeous Gabe. So jump on the website, guys. It's all psyched up. So we've been doing a little bit of hunting around and having a little look and things like that. So
That's the name of the website.
I beg your pardon. Did I not say that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
It sounded like, jump on the website, it's all psyched up.
Oh, right. That is the name of the
It's all
website. All psyched up. So that's terrific. So it's psychology with, as I said, a bit of a twist.
That's right.
A modern
Yep.
twist to it.
That's right.
Well, it'd have to be, wouldn't it? Because people are looking for different things now and different sorts of holistic therapies, I guess, speak to different people.
That's right. But also, there's a lot of research that really does back up this idea of connection between the mind and body. And so when we're dealing with clients who have anxiety or depression, we also know that a lot of the time there's something else going on with them physiologically, and sometimes this is to do with diet. And so it's really handy for the clients now to be able to, pop in and see their therapist and see a dietitian in the same place. The clients give us permission to coordinate our services, so it's fantastic because we're able to I can have a conversation with the dietitian and say, hey, you saw Heather today, how did it go?
Absolutely.
And we can, invite the client in, and the three of us can all have a meeting and have a really good chat about what's going on.
I'd love that. I'd like all that attention on me to try and fix me.
Yeah, it's
And I
nice.
think
Yeah.
that would be an obstacle to success in a different sort of environment when you go see a psychologist, for example, and they say, all right, now what I'd like you to do is go see a dietitian. You're like, oh, that's another thing I have to look into.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So at least if it's all there, then it's, okay, I trust this person, so I'm going to trust that person too.
And it opens you up to opportunity. Like I get dry needling done. Michelle hasn't had dry needling done. I was trying to force her to get dry needling done. I was going to get you some for your birthday.
Oh, that would be a great gift. You would have to do it on me. That would be a great gift. Happy birthday. Let's stick some pins in you.
I'm going to investigate what that course is. That's my thing. That's my to-do.
Oh, God.
Dry needling, writing it down.
Well, no, you've written it down.
So acupuncture. I've always been interested in acupuncture, and I've done a little bit of research in that when I was trying to work out, what the difference is between the two and the dry needling and the acupuncture and so on. So it opens your minds to different things. You go in and it's like, I wouldn't mind trying a little bit of, I don't know, exercise, hypnotherapy or acupuncture and things like that. That's awesome. I love this
Reiki,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And I think when you're coming in for an appointment to see somebody and you're sitting down in the reception area, it's such a beautiful, calm space, but you can hear the noise coming from the sound room. And it gets you curious and you're thinking, oh, that sounds nice. I wonder what's going on in there. And then the clients come in, they say, oh, what's happening over there? Because oh, that's sound and energy. And they say, what's that? So it starts this whole conversation and can open up new ideas for people that they haven't been aware of before. And who knows, if that's going to work for them, that's wonderful. And they don't get that from a bulk billing GP clinic down the road. So,
And in fact, we had guests in last week, Ron and Sharon, who we have them in as like a health and wellness. They run a boxing studio and things like that, and also discuss a lot about nutrition and looking after yourself in general. And we were saying that as well, like it really hasn't got to the GPs that they will focus so much on it's starting to a little bit, but your nutrition is really separate, isn't it? It's really seen as a separate entity to looking after yourself. When you go to see a GP, I've never been, my diet's never been discussed, regardless of why I've gone to see them.
No.
Ever.
No.
actually,
and,
mine hasn't either, come to think of
And
it.
I don't think I've ever had a GP ask me how I am. They've only ever asked me what's brought me there today.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think, well, if you ask me how I am, then, you know, and this is and they probably do ask you, obviously, but it's everything. It's, okay, I'm feeling angry, I'm stressed, I'm overworked, I'm tired, and I have a pain. You know, it can be everything. They don't seem to do that. It's, how can I fix you today? What do you need?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
I think when they come to somewhere like, well, this type of practice, and there are other types of practices that are similar to mine, of course, but I think it's the care that makes the
Yes.
difference.
Yes, it is.
And time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think sometimes when we go to other clinics or we have other appointments, we're sort of in and out and, you know, can only discuss one thing this consult.
Oh,
And if you want to discuss a second
extended
thing,
one.
you do another
Yes,
consult.
Exactly. You've got to
Yeah.
request an extended one. It's like, well, I wasn't knowing that I was going to,
Things
feel
pop
like
up.
this.
Exactly.
And you go in and you do talk about something, and you feel, you can tend to feel like a hypochondriac if you think, I'm tired, I'm really stressed, and there's these changes going on in my life. I've got this bad back pain, and you think, I sound like a crazy person.
Yeah.
I sound like a crazy person. So to go somewhere that's looking at you as a holistic approach
Yeah.
is such a relief. It's so nice.
Yes. Definitely. Now, before we go too much further, where is
Sure.
your clinic?
It's 373 Nepean Highway, Frankston. So it's just near Office Works.
Oh, beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, nice, easy, across the road from
Yep.
the beach.
Yep, beautiful.
On-site parking.
True.
Fantastic.
Nice, well done
Now,
now.
before we go too further down the track, because people will be listening going, yes, that sounds like exactly what I need. So that's where you need to go, 373 Nepean Highway, Frankston. And the clinic's called?
All psyched up.
All Psyched Up.
Yeah.
I know you're probably going to push me off again, Michelle. Are you seeing a lot of... we're going to come back.
Ignoring me.
We're going to... Oh, no, you're ignoring me. I'm ignoring you now.
Yeah.
Oh. Are you seeing a lot of children, teens coming in?
Absolutely. So a lot of the work that we do is with children. There's been a real increase in the amount of children that have been identified as having anxiety for all sorts of reasons. And, you know, it's because they're not coping with the parents separating, they're having learning difficulties at school, they're having trouble socialising with their peers, they don't know how to give and take nicely, and they think that that's bullying when the other person doesn't want to share. So there's a whole lot of this sort of stuff going on, but also a lot of assessments for cognitive impairment and learning difficulties, autism. It's really, you know, big at the moment in terms of presentation at the clinic. So it's something we really enjoy working with very, very much, you know, and we have good outcomes with the kids.
Do you go into the schools at all?
Absolutely,
I was
yeah.
going to say, you really need to get into the schools and do it in a big mass, you know. There's 300 kids in front of me and I'm going to, you know, try and address... Yeah.
Because I think sometimes, and I am going to cut all of this off and go to a song in a minute, but I think sometimes the time factor would come in. Like, you'd like to think that you're that sounding board for your child, that if they have an issue or if there's an issue at school that they can come to you. But a lot of the time, work overlaps with when they come home from school, and that's when I've found they're the most receptive to talking, is as soon as they come home, that's when they want to talk. And for my kids at least.
Yeah, of course.
And you think, sometimes I'm not there when they get home. So I'm home an hour after they've come home and they're already engrossed in whatever they're doing, or they're already gone again. And you think, so we're missing the opportunities to talk, and then it'll come out 5 minutes before they're supposed to go to bed.
Yes,
You told me
I know.
this 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So then I guess if you speak to a school on this, then the kids can say, oh, that might trigger something for me, and I might say, oh, I need to make this a priority to speak to my parents or whatever.
Sure.
Just in terms of the
more
bullying and so on
information
as
they
well. Things
Yeah.
like that. The
Oh.
bullying and the trauma, grief. Unfortunately, they're issues at school.
Yes.
and the way the world is at the moment as well. You don't know what that plays a part in the kids' minds.
No, absolutely.
All right, we're going to discuss this a lot more after we get back. You're listening to Adult PFM with Heather and Michelle and the lovely Brooklyn joining us today.
Yay! Powder finger. Nice, this is great. This is really nice.
Love it.
So you've got all these people with you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So how long's the clinic been open?
We opened yesterday. Prior to that, we were in the Quest building, and we just had 2 offices, and so we're all trying to juggle 2 offices, but it grew really, really quickly, and then everyone was saying we need more space.
Wow.
So then a few weeks ago, I looked for some space, and we found this space, and we got the keys about 2 weeks ago, and now we're in and open and running. So,
Awesome. That's
yeah. And we have been able to, a lot of our clients were saying they were disappointed that they couldn't get in to see us because, you know, they work in the city. Because you know how being on the peninsula, sometimes you've got to go up to the city to work.
Yeah.
And we were closing at 5 o'clock or 6
Yeah.
o'clock. And now we're open till 9. So
Wonderful.
all our evening appointments are booked out really quickly, which is fantastic. And we've got Saturdays and Sundays. So our hypnotherapist is working on Sunday as well. So that's fantastic.
Wow.
Just means that there's no excuse now not to look after yourself. Yeah, being able to come down before work or after work, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I think sometimes there's a perception to it though. People think they're overwhelmed with things. I think, I don't know where to turn, but no, I don't need to go see a psychologist. You know, there's that perception.
Yeah.
But then I guess if you've got dietitians and everything in there, then
That's right.
that softens it, I guess.
It does, and I think too, once you've been somewhere and you get to see, we're quite an informal, sort of friendly, easygoing, you know, channel out in a hippie, and we love everybody, and so, you know, clients that aren't mine, I'll go over to them, introduce myself, how are you going, do you want a cup of tea, water, you know, how are you today, did you find us all right, do you need anything while you wait, I'll let the therapist know you're here. We remember their names, and so we've formed these really nice relationships, and it's nice because you can have chats with them and put them at ease before they come. And, you know, yesterday somebody came and she recognised me and she said, oh, I know you from Facebook. I said, oh, okay. I do lots of live videos on Facebook. I said, oh, I know you from Facebook. And we were talking about, you know, coming down here, you know, my name's such and such. I said, oh, it's really nice to meet you. And it's nice because people build that rapport with you, and it makes it very easy then for people to be open to the idea of looking at more than just the dietitian or just the hypno or just the Reiki. You know, they sort of, they've met you, they get the vibe, it's a nice energy, and they think, oh yeah, I would be open to that. Well, if you think it's a good idea, I'll give it a go.
And I trust you.
Hi, Pete again from the Mornington
Well,
Digital
that's
Business Centre. I'd like you to meet Scott
Oh,
and
okay.
Sarah
Hello.
and Beck
Plenty of time.
from our team.
Yeah.
He's coming to the
Yeah,
Mornington
and for
Digital.
some people
We're
might
here to help
have
you
heard
get
of
the most
some
out of
part of it,
These
so they go,
guys
well,
can
try
answer
that
your
bit,
questions.
and
Yeah.
then they're open to the rest of it, whereas I guess they wouldn't generally walk into a sound therapy place.
Yeah.
Telstra Business Centre or call us now on 1300 My Business. That's 1300 692.
So of course we're always open to getting different practitioners on board. So if there's anybody that, now I'm going to start singing like this song.
Feel free to sing.
I'm just
Go on.
following you now.
Oh yay!
Oh,
Thank you.
Bianca's following you. Bianca's following everyone in the world.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our new practice. So that's me doing
Yeah.
a tour there. Had so much support. It's been wonderful.
It's wonderful. It's great.
To be together.
That's nice. You've got your hours all there. That's great.
That's my hypnotherapist.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Brad Buchanan.
Yeah, Brad Buchanan. He's amazing. So one of the other things that we're doing within the practice is we're all having a turn of giving each other a consult so that we can see what it's
that's
like.
Great. Yes.
Because it'll make it easier then to...
Yes.
And so that was Brad's idea that we do that.
Yeah.
So I had a hypnotherapy session with him the other day and it was so much fun.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to do it again.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hypnotherapy session.
Yeah.
Have you ever been hypnotised before?
Well, by colleagues. I was trained in hypnosis.
Yeah.
So I did some training with a hypnotherapist called Michael Yapko, who's very, very famous. But you'll get to sort of practice on each other. And then I delivered hypnotherapy, but I haven't actually had it myself properly from someone who wasn't another student. So it was really nice to have that experience as a client again. It's a bit strange, but it was nice to be in that because it will help me certainly explain to my clients what they can expect when they go and have a session.
Yes, yeah. That's exactly right.
Have you been hypnotised yet?
No, I haven't.
My phones are in.
Just ignore it.
Someone
answer that.
Get the phone.
Someone out there
Very
answer.
nice. Well, it's not in here. Is it?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Because I can't hear it in here. So
No,
they're not going to
Have you been hypnotised, Michelle?
No, I haven't.
No.
No.
Are you open to it?
I am.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm a. You see the hypnotism shows and you think, oh,
Yes.
yeah, you can make me clap like a chicken.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's not like that.
No. I know someone who has been hypnotised to get over a trauma,
Sure.
and he said it was just incredible. He didn't think that he would have the ability to be hypnotised, but yeah, and that stuck with him for a little while.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Rod. He was in a really bad car accident in his 20s or something, and he didn't deal with it well.
Yeah.
So he was hypnotised to try and, I think, relive it or something, and then
Oh,
go through
okay.
it.
Yep.
And he said he could feel the heat of like fire and everything.
Wow.
It was really strange.
Cool, huh?
We're coming back on because it stops quickly. And we're back. You're listening to BFM. With Heather and Michelle.
We're chatting away.
Yeah, chatting away, enjoying the tunes we were. Yes.
We get caught up, don't we, sometimes?
Most of the times, yes.
With everything going on. We're talking about hypnotherapy in the break.
Yes. We were saying about hypnotherapy. I've not been hypnotised. Have you? You've not been hypnotised?
No, do most people just come in because they want to give up smoking?
All sorts of things. So Brad is really, really popular for clients with chronic pain. That's his thing. And he's working with some midwives on the peninsula and some pregnant women because he's put together a birthing program so that women can have a delivery of a baby.
Pain-free.
Pain-free, I know. So, yeah. So he's put this together. It's called Empowering Mamas. So it's like nice and be strong, be tough,
That's
we'll look
awesome.
after you. Yeah.
We'll have to get him on as well then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's his baby, so to speak.
Why
I
not?
love it. I love it. I just, that I just think of the cartoons where they're waving the ticking clock in front of them. Their eyes go all winky. But you have been hypnotised.
Yes. So, I had a hypnotherapy session with Brad last week, and it was really interesting to be a client and to sort of sit there. And the process was great. He just kind of spent some time asking me, what I wanted to get out of it, and then he explained what it was, and we sort of clarified expectations of how many sessions it might take or not, and any fears or concerns that I had around would I be divulging very personal
That's the
private
thing.
secrets?
It's a vulnerability, I think, isn't it? It's definite vulnerability to it.
Yeah. So as he explained to me, it's kind of quite a dichotomy really, because your body goes into such a deep state of relaxation, yet your mind is about, between 200 and 400% more alert than it is in normal
Really?
waking days. So yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
That was how it felt for me as well.
Was it?
Yeah, I just felt like my whole body was just melting and sinking into the chair and was quite heavy, but in a nice way. Like I was wrapped in this big blanket of sort of relaxation. It was good, but my mind was like, bing! So it was great.
So you were very aware of what was happening.
Absolutely, yeah. So those people
Hard to
that
understand.
I know. know.
It's hard to grasp.
Because mine, I
that.
think, is usually the other way around, where my mind will wander off into some relaxed state, but my body's still going through the motions of making lunches, driving a car. But
I was just thinking when we did meditation the other day that I went, you know, I could allow my mind to go off, and you know, I was in those big puffy things of, you know, marshmallows and colour and, you know, all that type of thing. Yeah, it's very interesting. I can't imagine my mind being sharp as a. I can't imagine my mind being sharp as a knife anyway. Sharp as a.
If my mind was, you said 20 to 30%.
No,
400.
100%. Oh, that'd be probably just working. Everyone else's working ability. I think my mind was a bit sharper.
Yeah, whatever.
Sure
You're very bright. You're very bright, witty.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you know what I was thinking about? This is what I was thinking about on the way in. Hey, you know, I was going through and we're talking about your birthday. I'm just deviating here. Digressing. You know how you've said to me when you're at dinner or something like that and you go around the table and everyone says, you know, nice things about you because it's your birthday or whatever it is. So you should be able to say that just say you're turning 35, that people have to come up with 35 things about you.
Oh my God, that would take too long.
35 things about you that are great.
Yes. I don't know, I think people will be scraping the barrel when it gets past 105. 5, okay.
No, so isn't that terrific? You should do that on the weekend.
It's a lovely idea.
You should do that on the weekend.
Anyway,
As I
that's
said.
a lovely idea.
Yes.
I actually heard something on the radio, I'm digressing now, where it was an on-air partnership and they were saying, yes, that's it, trouble at me. They were saying they had to say a nice thing, something that they admired about the other person and something that they didn't like about the other person.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, gee, that's a good one, we should play that game. Not today, because it's my birthday practically, but we should play that on another day.
Yeah, we can do that. That's easy.
It's easy to think of something that you admire about that person, but something that you don't like about that person.
No, you could easily twist it around and say, I don't like the fact that you don't like yourself. You know what I mean?
I wasn't going there at all.
I don't like the fact that you don't have confidence in your ability.
Yeah, I don't like that you light up every room. That
Yes,
sort of
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't like that you take centre stage everywhere we go. I don't like that stuff.
That's
So you could
Yeah.
easily turn that around into a compliment.
yeah. No, I'm not
So it's a
playing.
backhanded.
I'm not playing
a
it
back,
that way.
That's oh, we're not playing that way. You
No.
want to play what you don't like about me.
Well, there's
Full
always-
on. Do you think she needs help?
I'm a good hypnotherapist.
I think I might make an appointment. All psyched up.
Yeah.
No, interesting. People's dynamics, and that would be something that you would see as well. I saw it on, or Heather mentioned it from your website. Friendship, was it friendship groups for kids? There was something around
Friendship issues.
Friendship issues.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And study stress. And we were talking, we were reading through this, and we were saying both Michelle and I, with our children, we both got girls the same age, 15-year-olds,
15-year-olds.
that were having. Both of us had discussions with them last night about school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's probably the heaviest conversation I think I've had with Holly in school. Was last night. It was just like, let her just vent and vent and
That's
vent
good
and
that she
vent
did.
and vent. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Because mine wasn't. Did she instigate the conversation?
Yes.
Oh, see,
yeah.
that's great. See,
Yeah.
Lauren didn't. I saw her doing her homework. I said, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she just put so much pressure on herself. And so it was more me saying, you've got to stop this. You can't keep putting this pressure on yourself. And her saying, okay, all right, well, you don't get it. And I'm like, I do. But then she was tired. It was 9:30.
Oh, dear.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a long day.
It is. And she'd already been at dancing for an hour as well. So this was after the school day had finished, after she'd finished dancing, and then she still felt she had to redo something. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, we were just saying they're in year 10 this year, so things have amped up a little bit.
Yes.
And, you know, I think they're starting to get a feel for... I mean, one of the teachers, believe it or not, said something to Holly about of your year 12 or VCE or whatever, you wouldn't be able to go to the toilet. And I was like...
In class?
And I said, what are you talking about? Are you talking about... And she's like, I'm not in year 12. And I said, no, I remember being in an exam, you'd be able to go to the toilet, someone has to come with you, and blah, blah, blah. She goes, no, it was in class. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, you know, they're starting to, you know, chip away at the... I mean, that to me is taking away the confidence of the child and ebbing away a little bit at...
It's also making something
Scary.
a stressful situation
That's
that doesn't need to be.
It doesn't.
that's where they should feel comfortable, is in their classroom with their teacher.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see a place for you. You clinic, definitely with that. So do you see a lot of kids coming through?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we go out to schools as well. So, yeah.
Primary schools or high school?
Primary schools, but a lot of the kids from private schools, private high schools come down to the clinic and see us. But I guess with the teenagers, the presenting problems are a little bit different to the primary school children.
Yeah, definitely.
So we see a lot of presentation of eating disorders,
Really?
body image, substance use, truancy, not coping with parents separating, things like that, not feeling like they're fitting into their peer groups. So, there's a lot of self-harm around that as well. So a whole lot of really serious issues coming through in teens, and it's, having such a big effect on their ability to perform academically as well, because they're quite distracted from their schoolwork. It's as if for some of these children, the schoolwork is having less of a priority than fitting in.
Yes. And that's that age and stage, isn't it? All right, we're going to have to shoot off.
Wow.
For another song. We're whipping through the morning.
I know. We're hardly scratching the surface.
We are.
We're just getting to know you.
We are, but we've still got some time, so
That's
don't panic. We'll still be back. A little bit of time to chitter chat. I've just thrown out another song so we have more time to talk. But I had to leave in one of my faves. So
Oh, of course. It's your day.
that's my
No, it is.
It's my day, Eve, but I'm claiming it's mine. So enjoy. We'll be back after this.
Oh, of course. I was thinking, when they start these songs, it almost sounds like Mickey. When it starts.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It almost sounds like, thinking, really, Michelle? No, it's not.
No,
It's the other one.
It's got to be.
It's very sad, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And look, it's not for all students at all. No. But the ones that come to the clinic, the ones that are turning up at our place for help, this is what we're generally seeing. So, yeah.
And do they come and see you as a psychologist, or do they come and see the dietitian or the...
They've originally been coming for psych, and then I'm able to link them in with a dietitian as we sort of build rapport. But it can take a little bit of time to build rapport with the kids because they're very worried that I'm going to go and tell their parents everything.
Well, that was going to be my question, but I might wait till on air.
Yeah.
Because I was actually going to say, can you intervene into the school environment? Can you contact, the parent, there is self-harming going on, or there is...
Yeah, you would in that case.
Yeah, we have a responsibility to do that.
Is that a particular age?
Well, yeah, around 15 to 16, we probably need to be doing that. Well, actually, throughout sort of high school, we need to be doing that. If anybody, whether it's a child or an adult, is at risk of harming themselves or somebody else, well, there are strategies that we have to put in place to protect that person and support the people around them. And that's explained to families and to all clients when they first commence in therapy. But in terms of a child coming along and having counselling, wanting to know you're going to feed all this back to my parents, the children are the clients, so the children do have their right to privacy and confidentiality. If there's something that's, a bit of an alert, what we might do is try and encourage the child to allow us to bring a parent in so we can try and discuss it that way. And, there are all sorts of different strategies that we can use. But, yeah, if you don't have that rapport with the child, then it's very difficult to help them because they'll just shut down and close off. And you can see them 6 times or 10 times or however many times and you get nowhere. And, parents will say, well, they've been for psychology, but they're not engaging in psychology. So it's hard. And sometimes the kids are just too scared to get better as well, Well, if I stop, this behaviour and I start eating normally, I'm going to get fat and then I'm not going to be popular and I'm not going to... It's those age-old things that we probably all experienced at high school as well. It's a tough one. But we also see children for migraines. So there are a bunch of kids that come through with a diagnosis of anxiety and they're having migraines. associated with that too. So what we're able to do now is link them in with like acupuncture or something. Some parents are wanting them to try that, and we're getting some success with things like that and those alternative sort of things. But a lot of it is around, as you were saying, stress that they can put on themselves or stress from other areas. It's quite hard being a teenager these days.
And that's, I know we've got to pay after this, and we'll just make sure that it's not a break after it. And it's hard when the child is so different to the parent. Like, I'm nowhere near what she does. Like, she'll read you. There we go. Oh, and we're back up to this, sorry. She put so much pressure on herself to do everything, and she was literally rewriting 4 pages of homework. And I looked at her, and like, she hasn't crossed things out. I was like, oh, and she said, oh, this bit's over here, this bit's over there, and she just wanted it all to be perfect. And I thought, it's fine, Lauren. All the information is on the page. You've got the questions answered. Leave it. Go to bed. Oh no, just do this bit. I'm not like that, so I can't say, oh, I understand why you want it. I can't. So it's just really hard because I wanted just to drop it and go to bed. Calm down. All right, we're back on.
And welcome back. Friday morning, RPPFM, and we can't believe we've got like 9 minutes left of the show. And as we said in the break, we're just getting to know Brooklyn. She's going to have to leave us.
She'll be back.
I know, she'll be back. And we'll also get Brad on and anybody else you can send our direction.
Right, yeah.
Because what you're doing is awesome and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
It's necessary.
Yes, and making obviously a difference to the lives of children, teens, youth, parents and adults and so on and so on. So yeah.
Grown-ups and people that think they're grown-ups.
Yes. Yeah, and Michelle and I have discussed so many times about the pressures on teens to look a particular way. And it is in, everywhere, social media and things like that. How would you, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat and all the rest of them, if someone comes in and says, presents to you a problem with their self-image and things like that, and you can see that's where it's, coming from, it's originating from, do you just tell them to get off this device and shut it down, move away from it?
I'd love to be able to do that. I think it depends on how old the person is and whether or not they're using it responsibly. I think it's always good to have a little bit of a break if it's having an effect on your health. I think certainly stepping away from it or putting some boundaries about how you're using it is really helpful. And also then looking, I guess, at some of the deeper, more underlying issues around why is it having this effect? What's going on here? What's going on with, self-image or self-worth or, identity and all of this? Because when people are transitioning through developmentally, through from 12 up through to 16, 17, 18, it can be very, very difficult to try and understand where you fit in the world, and you can try on a whole bunch of different roles or different identities. I went through a gothic phase and then I went through a hippie phase, and, we try on all these things and we're allowed to do that because we're experimenting, we're formulating our self-image. But in terms of the vulnerability and how it's affecting you, sometimes that can be symptomatic of a more underlying condition. So I certainly think if it's affecting health, put some boundaries around it or just put it on hold for a little while until we can build up some coping strategies and go from there.
That's very interesting. The devices and the social media, that's such a big thing because they are attached to that.
Yes.
And it's not just a phone, it's a phone and an iPad and a computer and it's everything. All right, phones go in the kitchen of an evening. All right, they just get on their iPad. Okay, iPads go there too. And you think there's not enough PowerPoints in this house to support all these devices. I just don't understand how they can be on all these things at once.
It's amazing, isn't it?
All bombarding them with different information.
Absolutely incredible. Do you do counselling for couples and things like that? So do people still go to marriage counsellors, or is it easy enough just to file and,
Yeah, so my mum works at the clinic as well. Yeah. And she does marriage and relationship counselling, and her name's Lindy, and Amanda Amanda Smith also does relationship counselling at the practice too. So often people will come in for relationship counselling. They think it's about one issue, but it turns out it's actually about something else.
Yes.
And the normal procedure for that is that, you come in together usually for the first meeting and talk about what the concerns are and have a chat around what the goals might be for therapy and how we're going to move forward from there. And then each psychologist or counsellor works a little bit differently, but it's very common to perhaps see each partner separately for a little while and just try and get a sense from them about what's going on. And the reason for that is because even when we come together for that initial session, still some of us hold back because they don't want to upset the other person or they don't have full disclosure for all sorts of other reasons. So it can be very helpful for the therapist to have that one-on-one time so that they've got a clear picture around what's going on. And then strategise and give some skills and tools and homework and hopefully get the relationship going in the right direction. But something that has become more popular of late is this idea of, decoupling and how do we separate nicely. So it's not just about, traditional marriage counselling, how do we force ourselves to stay together, how are we going to fix this, there's this big problem. Now we've accepted there's a problem and we're going to go our separate ways, but how do we do this nicely and how do we do it without upsetting the children?
Gwyneth Paltrow to blame for this.
Decoupling.
Yes. So that's a term that's been, thrown around a little bit lately, but we're seeing couples come along to our practice saying, well, we're here for relationship counselling, but it's not because we want to be together, it's because we want to move apart.
Yeah.
I suppose, we're all adults and you make those decisions, but as you said, if you can do it with as little impact, if you do have children, on the children as possible, I mean, that's quite a mature thing to do.
It
isn't
is, yeah.
Each other as well.
No, you rip their eyes out.
Preferably in the car park, not in the office.
Whatever. She's putting boundaries around me.
Thinking of the clean-up. They've got lovely little offices down there. You don't want to do it in their office.
True. Well, that's a responsible thing to do. So that's good. That's interesting that we've gone down that path. It's amazing, actually. But
Lots of things offered down there. So it's 373 Nepean Highway, Frankston. What was the phone number?
8797 5542.
That's a really sing-song phone number, isn't it?
8797 5542
4452.
5542.
I got it wrong. 4452.
No, 5542.
I'll tell you what it is. It's 8797 5542. Got that?
Thank you.
Yeah, quickly, before we...
I hear it one way and then I say another.
Quickly, vlog.
Yes.
Michelle told me it's a video blog.
It is.
See?
So
I'm joining. Here we go.
all the time I'm on there doing live Facebook videos. So we live streamed this today, but almost every day I get on and do a little bit of a video around a topic, and this year's topic is around anxiety. So you can see them all on the Facebook page. If you're having trouble clicking through the website,
Yeah. Go through
it's
Facebook.
on the Facebook
Oh,
page.
awesome! I'm going to join that.
Yeah,
On the Facebook page.
Yeah.
The Psyched Up Facebook page?
yes,
I
it's
just
on
started
the.
following that.
Yeah, great. So it's really exciting. Love to do it and get lots of engagement. So it's lots of
I
fun.
love that stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We're out of time. We're out of time. We're going to have to shoot off.
It's so lovely to meet you.
So lovely to
We're going
meet
to have you back in again.
We most
Thank
definitely
you.
And
will.
I'll come visit when you've got Michelle in there and pick her up, drop her off.
We're
And
going to go on to couples counselling. I know that's what we need. I think it'll help us. Lovely to meet you, Brooklyn.
Thank you, you too.
We'll have you back.
yeah,
Thank
and
you.
can't wait to meet Brad and
Oh,
your
that-
mother and so on
The
and so
whole
on.
crew.
The whole crew. I feel like part of the family there already.
I know.
Well, you are.
Oh, I bet people feel like that.
They do, and we want them to. Yeah, thank
absolutely.
you.
All right, we're going to be off. Enjoy your Friday, everyone. Stay
Oh,
tuned
happy
after
birthday,
11 o'clock.
Michelle.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Have an awesome weekend.
After 11, you've got the lovely Jackie Mitchell on Taking Care of Business in the next studio. But that's it for us. We'll see you next week.